Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Guys, today I'm making a special dish and I'm going to tell you all about it in a minute. But I have been making, this channel have been mainly Barbados dishes. I've been making all Barbados dishes, but I think I've just about made everything that I know and I remember that we made growing up. The traditional dishes is what I really wanted to make, and I've made most of those, or all of those that I can think of. So I've decided that instead of just making Barbados dishes, since I've already made those, I'm gonna go international. Yeah, and I'm gonna bring you more dishes so that you can be creative and come up with more dishes and something different. You know, sometimes you need a change, so we're gonna make some different dishes. So where are we gonna, our first stop is gonna be where? The motherland. We're going all the way to Africa, and I'm bringing you an African dish. Now, this dish that I'm gonna bring you is also something that we make in Barbados, that we made, that I remember my grandmother made when I was growing up as a little girl. I don't know if people still do it today, but some of you may remember as I go along to do this dish. I'm gonna remind you of certain things that we did, okay? So today I am making a dish from Nigeria. It's called fufu. It is cassava fufu. So this is what we're gonna make today, and it's something close to the way where I'm gonna make it is gonna be close to the way we made cornmeal. So instead of making cassava with that, we use cornmeal, but today we're using cassava. Okay, so let me show you how this is done. Over here I have some cassava that I picked up. This is the root. If you've never seen it before, this is called cassava. Okay, in Spanish they call it yuca. Okay, they eat a lot of this in Spanish. They call it yuca. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel it, and this is how I'm gonna peel it. This is how I remember us doing it. So I'm doing it the way I remember my grandmother used to do it. First, you're gonna make some slices around, all the way around. You go all the way around, and then I'm gonna cut it down the center like that. And then we're gonna take the skin off. Makes it easier to peel like that. So this, we're making full. This knife is a little big, but a smaller knife would probably be better. And just keep going around. And the skin comes off pretty easy, okay? I'm gonna continue. Then once I cut it up like this, for what I'm making right now, over here I have I have a bowl here with water. So I am going to be blending this. So I'm gonna cut it up small. I'm gonna cut it up into small pieces because I'm gonna put it in the blender. Now, normally, growing up, we didn't cut it up small like that because we use a grater. We grater it by hand. Today, we're not going to be using a grater. Instead, we're using the blender to blend it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all this up and put it in the blender. And I'm going to come back and show you what we're going to do next. Now, in here, the cassava is all cut up. It is nice and clean. I washed it. So now I'm going to add it to my blender over here because we want to grind this up. Okay, so I'm gonna grind this up to like a paste. I'm gonna put a little water in here, but we don't want to put too much water. We just want to put a little bit of water just to blend it up. Okay, okay guys, So I'm gonna take this out of here and see it's blended up. Nice and smooth. Couldn't have done this better with a grater. There we go. And we all in here. So you see, and this is what's gonna look like when we done grater it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish blend the rest. Guys, I have a question for you guys. Oops, I got a couple pieces in here that wasn't ground up. So there's a couple pieces that wasn't ground up, like big pieces. I'm just gonna go ahead and take those big pieces out. I'm not gonna bother to, like that, because I got most of it. So those pieces are okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in here just to shake it around. Just a little bit of water, not too much, just to get all that extra stuff out of there. I'm gonna put a little more. Okay. This is my cassava blended up. Now, who could remember doing this when they were growing up? Who remember? And do you guys remember what we did with this when we grated it like that? I'm gonna tell you what we did with it. And for the older people that's around my age, you're gonna remember. Back years ago, our grandparents would harvest the cassava and then they grated the cassava. And what they did is they added water to it. So I just add a little bit of water because I'm not making, because what they did is they made starch, okay? What I'm making is the fufu, which is made in Nigerian Africa. But what we did is they would add a whole bunch of water to this and they will let it sit for a few hours. Then when it sat for a few hours, maybe I think sometimes overnight, then they'll get like a cloth, like a cheesecloth or white cloth, clean cloth, and they pour the water, all the substance in there, and they squeeze it out. They squeeze it out. And you get all the water come out and all that stuff in the cloth. You discard. I don't remember if they did anything with it. I just threw that away. But they squeeze all that water out of there. And then they let it sit. That water, they let it sit for maybe a day or so in a bucket. You're having a big bucket and it will just sit there. Then the next day, you pour all that water off and the sediments to the bottom, all the starch, the white starch, it settles to the bottom. So you pour off that water at the top, and then when that water poured off at the top, you have your starch to the bottom. Now you take that starch, because it's white, it settles right there to the bottom, it's white. You take a spoon or something and you rake it off and you put it in a bowl. You can use that for a lot of different things. They made cakes with that. They starched the clothes, guys. I remember starching my uniform one day because I wore this green uniform. I starched my uniform because you take a piece of that white starch to the bottom and you can add a little bit of, when you're rinsing your clothes, you add a little bit of it to the water and it makes the clothes nice and stiff so it's easy to iron and so on. I remember putting too much in there, guys. And when I went to get my uniform for school, it was like so hard. It was like stiff. It was like you're gonna break it. That was how I did my school uniform. But with that, you can also put it to dry. Put it in the sun, someplace in a sunny area, and let it dry. And then you can put it in a blender. Once it dries completely, you can make your flour, okay? And if, guys, you remember that, let me know. And if you want me to do a video on how to make starch, I can make a video for you as well, okay? So let's go ahead and make our fufu. So here, I just put a little bit of water in here because you don't want to put too much water to this, okay? And I have my saucepan here because we're gonna cook this on the stove. So I'm gonna pour all this in my saucepan. And I'm gonna go over to the stove and I'm gonna show you exactly how I do this. And we're gonna do this, guys, the same way. I'm now, we are from Africa. The old people brought all their recipes from Africa and distribute them throughout the Caribbean, and you will find that everybody in Caribbean and so on, we all make these dishes that's similar, that's close. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm making fufu, which is with cassava, but in Barbados we make cuckoo, which is with cornmeal and okra, and it's gonna be way how you make this is gonna be similar. So come over the stove, let me show you. Okay, guys, so here I have just the cassava with a little bit of water on the stove. So what I'm gonna constantly do, I'm gonna stand here and I'm constantly gonna stir it like this. Okay, I'm gonna stir it like this. You see how nice and white it looks? It's gonna change colors and you're gonna know that that's cooked. But right now, remember, if you're cooking cuckoo, you can't be stirring your meal and walk away because your meal is going to have lots of lumps, right? The same thing here. You're stirring this. You don't want lumps in it. So you have to stay close by and keep stirring just to make sure you don't get lumps. So I'm going to continue to do this for a while. And then I'll check back in with you and show you how the process is going. But my stove is on low heat. So you got to make sure your stove is on low heat while you're doing this. While you're doing this, guys, you're gonna find that you're gonna have to keep switching arms, and you're gonna have to constantly be stirring because it sticks to the bottom a little bit if you're not stirring. So you have to keep stirring it, and you're gonna find that your arm is gonna get tired, so you're gonna have to switch from hand to hand. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. When one arm get tired, I switch it. Guys, your arm is gonna get a good workout. So if you miss the gym and you don't feel like going to the gym but you want that arm workout, get it right here. And after the workout you can eat what you made. Alright, guys, I'm gonna keep stirring this. I'm not gonna bore you guys, but I'm gonna keep stirring this and then I'll be back in a little bit. See how the texture, guys, is changing? See how it looks now? We gotta keep stirring. No, but I think I'm gonna take this out of here now for a while and use this spoon instead. Okay guys, see what it looks like? And if it's a little bit too hard, you could just take, I got my kettle here with a little bit of warm water, just a drop to kind of loosen it up a little bit. Husband spent 3 months in Nigeria a few years ago, and they served this, but I think he said they served it, they did the same way but with yam. So maybe one day I'll do it with yam too. Woo, my hand tired, guys. My hand tired. I always put the okra cuckoo in the microwave. I get too tired. I am telling you, my mother used to cook this every Saturday when she was alive. Every Saturday. So every people that know her used to go by my mother just to cook on Saturday. I didn't know how my mother did that because I'm telling you, this is not an easy job. But anyway, I'm gonna stir here and go from hand to hand till I get this here just right. Got this hand tired. Well, lordy. See, guys? So it's look. So that's it. But I'm gonna pour a little bit, just a little bit of water in it to loosen it up a little more. You don't want to put too much. But yes, I don't want it hard. You know, like when you got your cuckoo, so that will put my cuckoo like real stiff. But you let your cuckoo mellow so it can slide down your throat. So we want this to be mellow, see? It's starting to change colors a little bit. It's not as white, it's starting to look a little grayish color. I can put a little bit more water inside of it. Because even when it cool, it's gonna get even firmer. See? But I want it to be like mellow cream. Okay guys, as you see, I think it's done now. I was doing this for about 30 minutes. You see the color has changed. It's not white anymore. So I think it's time, oops, to take it off the stove. So it's done now, guys. Okay guys, so when the Nigerians eat this fufu, they eat it in a ball. Okay, so this is the way they do it. So let's do it now. Oh. Put this here. Okay, usually put it in a ball like this. So let me see if I can do it correctly, the way they do it in a plastic. You put it in a ball like that. I don't know if this is gonna work for me, guys. I gotta get a plastic bag. I just want to do it the way they usually do it. Like this, and then ooh. Okay, ooh, it's sticking to my hand. Okay, and then they just put it like that, I guess, to cool a little bit in the plastic like that. Okay, instead of me putting it in this bag, I'm gonna try to put it in this bag over here and see. That should probably work better for me than that bag. So let's get the fufu. If you're watching this and you're from Nigeria or Africa, let me know. Okay. You want to put it in a ball. And let's do one more. Okay, so I'm gonna leave those there to cool, and then we're gonna have some fufu. I'm gonna try it for you and tell you I made some curry chicken, because when they eat that, they eat it with different meats. Okay, so I made some curry chicken, so I'm gonna have mine with curry chicken. So I'll be back in a few minutes to tell you what it tastes like. Okay guys, fufu is all done. Over here, cassava fufu. Over here, that's what it looks like. It looks good. So now what I'm gonna do is, it came out nice and smooth like that from the plastic. Now guys, with this, I'm gonna have some curry. I think you need lots of gravy to eat it with. This is how you make, that's how you make fufu, cassava fufu. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste it and tell you exactly what it tastes like. I'm excited to taste it. This is the first time I've made it, guys. First time I've made it, because we're going international, so I'm trying different food. So this is the first time for me. So you go ahead and you try it as well. So it will be the first time for you eating fufu. Okay, so let's taste it and tell you what it tastes. Let me taste it and tell you what it tastes like. Now, you know the saying is, when you're in Rome, you do as the Roman do. So now we are in Africa, in Nigeria, So we're going to do what they do. So when we're eating this fufu, we do not eat this with a fork. You eat it with your fingers. That's how they eat it over there. And that's the way that I'm going to eat it for you. Okay. So from what I understand, we use 2 fingers. They just actually, we only 2 fingers. They pinch it off like that. And then stick it into the gravy like that. And then go ahead. I'm trying to get a taste. It doesn't really taste like how regular cassava would taste. It doesn't really taste that way. Remember, it doesn't have any salt or anything added to it. So it takes on the texture of what you're eating, like the curry. It take on that texture. It's almost like if it doesn't have much of a taste. Let me taste it again just to be sure. They pinch it and then they mix it with the gravy. They pinch it and then mix it with the gravy like that. I think when you're eating it, based on what I listened to with the others, you don't really chew it, which I found that I was chewing. It's supposed to slide down your throat, but I was chewing. But it does not have much of a taste, because as I said, but it tastes good. It tastes good. It just doesn't, I can't describe it really, but I taste the gravy, so it takes on that flavor. Okay, almost like if you cook cauliflower, it doesn't have much of a taste, and it takes on the taste of whatever it is that you make to go on top of it. That's how it tastes. But it tastes really good. I could eat, you know, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy this, but I just wanted you to see it is really good. So go ahead and give it a try, guys. Something different. Every once in a while you try something different. This is what they make over there. They also make it with yam. So next time, if you all want me to, I'll make it with yam as well. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Now if you want me to make starch, let me know and I can make that for you. Or, you know, if you want me to make something else, just let me know. But I'm traveling around the world, guys, so we start in the motherland, and who knows where I'm going to be next time. Okay, I had fun making this, and I hope you have fun giving it a try. Until next time, bye-bye. Without eating the meat, I can have this like down my throat. I gotta chew. I gotta chew. I can't let it lay down. But it's good. It is good. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.